Okay, anything. Let's say speed. Speed. Let's say speed. Speed is something that we see in day-to-day life. Okay, the rate of change of the position. Okay, how fast a body is moving or how slow a body is moving. Okay, so the speed, it is not in this list. Okay, so this is made of length upon time. Okay, length upon time. This is speed. Acceleration, let's say. Acceleration, let's say. This is made up of. This is the rate of change of velocity. That means the rate of change of speed, let's say. Okay, so speed upon time. Okay, now this speed is made up of length and time. So acceleration also is made of length and time only. Okay, acceleration also is made of length and time only. Length upon time divided by time. So LT minus 2. So the composition is different. I have taken length and time only for making speed also, for making acceleration also, but the composition in which I have taken both, they are different. Okay, so this is how. So these things we'll study when we study the chapter of dimensions. Okay, we'll go deeper in all the 7 things and everything, but today we are going to do vectors. Okay, so we'll be starting vectors. This was about the introduction of physical quantities. Okay, now these physical quantities, whatever will be made out of the composition of these 7 things, all those quantities can be classified into 2 broad things. Okay, whatever recipes that we'll get in physics, they can be classified into 2 broad things. Okay, one is scalars and one other one is the vectors. Okay, and what is the difference between scalars and vectors? That scalars only have magnitude, vectors have magnitude as well as direction. What is the difference? Okay, so if anyone is having any doubt, please write me in the message box. Okay, so all the recipes that can be made out of the 7 ingredients of physics that we saw, they also can be of 2 types. Okay, like speed and velocity, they are in magnitude, they are the same thing, but velocity is a vector quantity and speed is a scalar quantity. Okay, so all the physical quantities that we have, they can be classified basically into 2 things, scalars and vectors. Okay, this scalar and vector, what is the difference? It has magnitude and direction. Okay, scalars only have magnitude. Okay, now what is the difference? What is the meaning of this? Like I say 5 kilograms. So if I say 5 kilograms towards north, it doesn't make any sense, right? So such quantities where direction doesn't make a meaning, doesn't make sense. Okay, for example, mass, time, temperature. Okay, we can't say 20 degrees in the north direction, 20 degrees Celsius in north direction. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, but some things must be accompanied by a direction also, then only we can get the full idea of it. Okay, like I say speed, like I say velocity. Okay, like I say something is moving with a speed of 5 meters per second. Okay, but someone may ask that where he is moving or she is moving. Okay, so along with that, so that magnitude, that how much is what? The magnitude. Okay, how much is the magnitude and to where is the direction. Okay, so let's say I say 5 meter per second towards the east direction. Okay, towards the east direction. So now I'm getting an idea that okay, the body is moving with this magnitude of 5 meter per second in the east direction. So this 5 meter per second along with the direction is complete velocity. If I just say 5 meters per second, it can be in any direction. Okay, that is just the magnitude of the speed. So that is speed then. Okay, just the magnitude is speed. If I say only the magnitude 5 meter per second to up, downward, east, west, where it's not said, so that is just giving me the amount, that with what amount the body is moving, but to where it is not said there. Okay, so these vectors Now they have certain properties that we'll have to study here. Okay, how we deal with vectors, because scalars I can say 5 kilograms and 2 kilograms. If I put them together on a scale, it will be 5 plus 2 7. Simple scalar addition. Okay, but the same is not the case with vectors. Okay, so now in this session today we'll study about vectors basically. Okay, so how the class will be: first I'll tell you a little about vectors, and based on whatever I say I'll be giving you questions. Okay, those questions you have to, whoever finds the answer to those questions, he or she has to message me the answer. Okay, as soon as you do the question you message me the answer. Fine. So vectors, and after that, after we have done something, we have learned something, we'll be doing the questions of JEE Mains 2019. Okay, January session we'll be doing few questions based on whatever we learned today. Okay, so try to do them and try to assess yourself whether whatever you have learned today. Okay, so that is very important. So vectors, as we know, it has both magnitude as well as direction. Okay, so a vector is represented by an arrow like this. Okay, an arrow. So this is exactly this way. This is the direction. This is one vector. This is another vector. All the vectors, they are having some direction. Okay, these are all vectors.
You can see.
Okay, and the length of the arrow tells me about the magnitude. Okay, so these two vectors, let's say these two vectors, they are parallel to each other, but the red one is longer than the black one. Okay, so that means the magnitude of the red one, the red vector, is more than the black vector. Let's say this is 2 units something. Okay, it can be, and the unit again, so the about the units and dimensions we'll learn about when we see the chapters of units and dimension. In fact, after this class we'll be having another session in which we'll be dealing about the units and dimension. That is the first thing, but in this session we are taking up vectors. Okay, after this session we'll be having a session on unit and dimension. Okay, so you can join that as well. Okay, so 2 units, maybe it can be any vector, force, velocity, momentum, whatever. Okay, 2 units, and let's say this is 10 units of some vector, maybe force, newtons, or meter per second, velocity, whatever. So they both are in the same direction. They are parallel vectors. Okay, parallel in the same direction. So the direction for the two vectors are same, but the magnitude are different. Okay, fine. And you can move a vector anywhere in the space. So what I mean by that, that this vector, let's say this vector, if I make a vector like this of the same length anywhere, you can pick it and take it anywhere in the space, but keeping it parallel to this original vector. The direction must be the same. Otherwise, you can move the vector anywhere in the space. Okay. So a vector can be moved parallel to itself anywhere. The vector will not change. It will be the same vector because the vector has two components. One is the magnitude and the direction. You are not changing the length of the vector and you are not changing the direction as well. You are keeping the vector parallel, right? So you can move it. Fine. Now, like I told that suppose there is a balance like this. Okay, so there is a balance. You put 5 kilograms mass and then 10 kilograms mass. Okay, the total will be 15, right? Simply you have to scalar addition, 5 plus 10, that is 15. So this is how we add scalars. But same is not the case with vectors. Why? Because suppose this is the east direction and this is the north direction. East, north, south, west, they are in horizontal direction. Okay, so this north is not vertically up or down. Okay, this is like east, north, south, west in the horizontal direction. Okay, now suppose I say that a boy moves towards east about with 2 meters. Okay, and the boy originally was here at the origin. Let's say this was the origin. Let's say he moves towards the east 2 meters, and towards the north he moves, let's say, 5 meters. Okay, so the total movement, the total displacement, can I say it is 2 plus 5? No, it is not 2 plus 5 simply. It depends upon which direction is the displacement. All the displacements are in which direction. We can't say simply that 2 plus 5 7. No. So there is a way how we add vectors, right? In this case, in this particular case, I'll say 5 square plus 4, so 4 square root, that is root 29. So this is the displacement, that is not 5 plus 2, right? So there is a way we add vectors. So we have two laws by which we add vectors. Okay, one is the triangle law. The first one is the triangle law, and the second one is the parallelogram law. Parallelogram law. Don't get offended if I write some spelling wrong. Okay, I think it is double L. No, single L. Okay, so there are two laws. Now, one thing about a law. What is a law? Laws in physics. So scientists and experts, they perform experiments, they observe things for a long period of time, and then based on their observation, they try to establish some result, some hypothesis, something that they have experienced and learned over the time by doing their own experiments and their own observations. And in the time they have devoted, they learn something, and out of that they give out some inference. Okay, so those things are called laws, like Newton's laws of motion. So it is a law that Newton, he found out that okay, the apple is falling or something is moving. So that was his observation. Based on his observation, he gave us a law. Okay, so once a law is accepted, that okay, the scientific community now accepts this law. So generally we don't ask what is the proof of this law. Okay, so whenever it is said in the physics that this is the law, so we accept it as it is, that okay, this is someone's law, Faraday's law, someone's law. So that means the scientific community has accepted that law, that yes, this is true. Now if you have to prove or disprove that law, you have to again show it by experiments and by your own observations, your own calculations. You'll have to show that okay, this is not matching with whatever was said by this man. So you'll have to do your own experiments then. Okay, so if someone is saying that this is a law, that is a law, we have to accept it. Okay, fine. So what is the triangle law? The first one would be the triangle law. Now suppose there is this origin, everything has to be with respect to something. If I say that Delhi is 1000 kilometers from here, then you'll ask from where. Okay, so obviously there has to be a reference point whenever you say or talk about some position or some vectors. Okay, so this is our origin. Let's say this point is our origin that we define. Okay, so everything will talk about this point, origin. We'll learn about these things, and then in the end all the dots will be connected. Okay, so this is the origin. Okay, so the triangle law says that suppose this is one vector, let's say r1 vector. Okay, let's say this is another vector, r2 vector. Okay, now observe r1 vector and r2 vector. Vectors, you know, it has a length, it has some direction. Both r1 and r2, they're having a direction and magnitude because they have some length. But the thing to be noted here is that the tail of the other one, the r2 vector, is having its tail at the head of r1 vector, right? This is what you have to keep in mind here. Okay, so this is like, simply, if you want to see it, if you want to visualize it, suppose a boy walks from this origin. Okay, This is the origin. Let's say a boy was standing here at the origin. Now he walks all along R1 vector and reaches here. Okay. Let's say the boy reaches here after walking all along R1 vector. So that was his first displacement. The displacement R1 vector. Let's say R1 is displacement here. Displacement is a vector. This can be any vector, but for understanding, let's say it is displacement. Okay. Now, after reaching, let's say this point is A, let's say the origin is O, this point is B. Okay. Now, after reaching point A, the boy walks along the R2 vector and reaches point B. Okay. The boy is now at point B. So, what is the net displacement? Okay. What is the net displacement? Where is the boy now? Okay. The boy is here now, right? So, this third vector. Okay. This is the resultant of the first two vectors r1 plus r2. Okay, and obviously this is where the boy is right now. So the triangle law says that the sum of r1 vector plus r2 vector is r1 vector plus r2 vector. This is the third. So what we do, the triangle. So now we are forming a triangle. The resultant is a vector starting from the tail of the first to the head of the second, right? The vector is the third side of the triangle such that the tail of the resultant vector is at the with the tail of the first and the head with the second head. So like this. So if I summarize this, this is one vector, this is another vector. Okay, so what is the resultant of the two? This third vector. You connect the third side. This is r1 vector plus r2 vector, the resultant vector. Okay, I guess so. This is triangle law. Fine. We'll be using this, but more than this, we use the parallelogram law. Okay. So let's see the parallelogram law. Okay. This is another law. Let's say there are two vectors like this, and another one is like this. Okay. This is, let's say, vector A. I'm just naming it. Okay. And this is another vector B. The angle between the two vectors is, let's say, theta. Okay. Now, this parallelogram law says that the resultant, now this is not the same. Here the two tails are coinciding with each other. Okay. And they are at an angle of theta, like this. Okay. So now the law, parallelogram law says, so basically the two laws are the same thing. It's just the way you look at it. Okay. So if you complete this parallelogram, okay, if you complete this parallelogram, the diagonal, this diagonal gives me the resultant of the two vectors. Okay. So this diagonal will give me the resultant of A plus B. Okay, this is the resultant vector. Okay. Now we'll try to find out what is the magnitude of this R. Okay, what is the magnitude? So all the vectors have some magnitude and a direction. Here A is in this direction, B is in this direction. So the resultant of the two will be somewhere in between. Okay, the red line. This much we are seeing from the diagram. Okay, obviously if there is a boy, you pull the boy in this direction and in this direction also. Obviously, he will move somewhere in between, right? So this is how to just to give you a feel of it. Okay. So now I'll try to find the magnitude. The magnitude of a vector is defined or denoted as mod of A. Okay. Let's say this is A. The magnitude is denoted by this modulus sign. Modulus of A. This is magnitude of A. B vector's magnitude is, let's say, B. Okay. And R vector is the resultant, but R, this mod R is the magnitude of the resultant. Okay. Like in that case, like in this case, we had found out this magnitude. Okay, so you have deleted it, I think. Okay. In which we had got the answer square root 29. So the boy had moved 2 in this direction, 5 in this direction, right? So this we got as 25 plus 4 square root 29. So this square root 29 is the magnitude of the resultant. 5 is the magnitude of one vector, 2 is the magnitude of another vector, the root 29 is the magnitude of the resultant. So here we are trying to find out what is the resultant. Okay. So obviously we'll use geometry and trigonometry. Okay. Our aim is to find the length of the red line. Okay. Given that, okay, let me draw it in some different color. Let's say green. Okay. This green line is some extra construction that I have done to find out the length of that red line. Okay. This black one is B, magnitude of B. A line is the okay. So again, now see what is going to be the length of this one. Okay. So if I draw up a perpendicular here also, so now this triangle is congruent to this triangle. You can use simple geometry. This is theta, and this is the same. This is just parallel. This is a vector only, basically, right? So this will become a sine theta. This length is a sine theta. Okay, simple trigonometry I'm using, right? And this is what? This is a cos theta. Okay. Now I'm naming the triangles. Okay, let's say this is O. Let's say this point is P. Let's say this point is Q, and let's say this point is S. This point is S. So PQ is a sine theta. The length of PQ is a sine theta, and the length of OS is B. The length of OS is the magnitude of vector B. That is B. That is B. Okay, this is the length B. Okay. So what is the length of OQ? So in triangle OPQ, I'll use simple Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Perpendicular square plus the base square is the hypotenuse square, and from there I'll try to get the length of the hypotenuse. Simple. Okay. So what is the length of the height? What is the height? That is a sine theta simply, right? So can I write OP square? I need to, what my objective is to find the length of this OP, right? I have to find the length of OP, that is the hypotenuse. In the right angle triangle OPQ, I'll be using Pythagoras theorem. Simple. Length, the height is a sine theta. So OP square is a sine theta whole square plus what is the length of OQ? OQ is the base, right? That is B. B is the length of OS plus a cos theta, right? Okay. So just correct me if I'm writing it wrongly. Okay. So B plus a cos theta whole square must be equal to OP square. If you are having any doubts or any confusion, just message me so that I know. Fine. So now from here you have to just expand it. Okay. A square sine square theta plus B square plus a square. Okay. Please don't scribble on the screen. A square cos square theta plus twice of a into b into cos theta. Mind it, this a and b here, they are the magnitudes. Okay. Magnitude means, let's say 5 meter per second in the east direction. Okay. So this is the magnitude 5. A vector's magnitude is a. A is what I have denoted the magnitude with. Okay. So from here, simplifying it further, what I can write it to be. Now see, in these two terms, I can take a square common. So a square sine square theta plus cos square theta. Now then b square, this b square plus twice ab cos theta. Fine. So OP square, that is the resultant square. Okay. I am writing it here. Writing it here on the top. Okay, I'm writing it here. Okay, so Tamanna is asking one question. What is the difference between using the triangle and parallelogram law if both have the same formula? Can you please give an example? See, basically, triangle law and parallelogram law, they are just two different ways of saying the same thing, because here also it is like triangle law only, right? What I am doing here, this vector, this is a vector, right? This is a vector. I told you that a vector can be moved parallel to itself, okay, anywhere in the space. So if the a vector, you are moving it parallelly, so this is the same a vector, right? This vector a vector, okay, this a vector. So it's the same thing. B plus A is the R vector. So it is the triangle law and the parallelogram law, just two ways of saying the same thing. But sometimes the situation is such that it is more evident. Okay, so some questions you can do more easily. It is more evident basically if you use the triangle law. Okay, and some questions you have to use parallelogram law. It is perfectly fine. You can use whichever, parallelogram law, triangle law. They are just basically the same thing. Same thing. Okay. See the component way. See, it is just so it is mathematics. Mathematics has to be the same. 7 can be written as 5 plus 2, can be written as 6 plus 1, can be written as 4 plus 3. So basically they are in essence the same things, but you say that okay, it is 5 plus 2, and sometimes you say 6 plus 1. So it is just the way you are writing 7. Okay, it's not that the value has changed or the thing has changed. The thing is absolute as mathematics. Okay, they are absolutely the same. Okay, now if you split it like 5 and 2, it will appear like to be like something else if you write 6 plus 1, but it is absolutely the same. It's not that the vectors are changing. No, it is mathematics. It won't change. Okay, the component method also will see. Yes, yes. Component method is another way of addition. We'll be seeing that. If the time allows, we'll be seeing that. That is very important. The Cartesian coordinate system will be understanding. Okay. But we have to take step by step. Okay. Most of the questions we'll be doing by the component method. Okay. Because that makes it very easy to look and to understand. So the general method, the most of the time we'll be using that component method only, but this is the method that we have to understand and know. Okay, because in your examination there will be direct questions from this, right? Means after this one I'll be giving a question of JEE mains. Okay, so if you just use this formula you will be getting that. Okay, if you will get a better picture if you do the questions. Okay, so this became okay. So this is what OP square. OP square, that is the resultant square, right? Became A square plus B square plus twice of A, that is magnitude of A into B into the cos of the angle between them. Okay, OP square, or you can say, okay, or you can say the resultant magnitude is what? The square root of A square plus B square plus twice of AB cos theta. Now this formula you have to keep in mind. Okay, there is no excuse to forget this. You have to keep in mind. Okay, you can't go deriving it in the examination. This formula you have to keep in mind. A is the magnitude of the first vector, B is the magnitude of the second vector, theta is the angle between the two vectors. So this expression gives me the magnitude of the resultant. Fine, this is one thing. One more thing I'll give a hint, and then I'm going to put forward a question. Okay, so everyone please note down this formula, this expression, to find the resultant of two vectors. Okay, after this I'm going to tell one more thing, and then I'll be giving a simple question of JEE Mains 2019. Okay, okay, now let's say someone says A minus B. What is this? A minus B is what? A plus minus B, right? This is vector B. Let's say this is vector B. Okay, it has some length, right? This green one, this is the length of vector B. It has some magnitude. It has a direction, this direction, right? What is minus b vector? Just the opposite direction in the same amount. Okay, this is minus b vector. Fine. Just the same amount in the reverse direction is minus b. So if I, this is okay. So this was about minus b vector. Fine. So let's say this is a, this is b. Let's say this is a vector and this is b vector. Okay. So we know that okay, we can use the parallelogram law and the formula to find the resultant, that this is a plus b. Fine. What is a minus b? Simply first make the minus b vector. Okay, so this is minus b vector in the opposite direction. This is minus b vector. You have to sum these two now. You have to sum this a minus b. So it will be the diagonal of these two like this. Okay, this is a minus b. Okay, okay, this is a minus b, and you can use the formula also. The formula is what? Sum of two vectors is the square of the magnitude of the first one plus the square of the magnitude of the second vector plus twice of the magnitude of first into the magnitude of second into cos of the angle between them, right? So here the angle between the two vectors becomes this one, right? Obviously, if this is theta, this becomes 180 minus theta, right? Fine. So is the component, so Tamanna is asking a question. So is the components method another way of addition? Okay, no. Can you please clarify why sum of squares of coefficients of components without I cap, j cap gives the magnitude? Why is no angle involved? Okay, see, we have not come to that, but very quickly I'll tell you that, see, I and j, it is irrelevant here, but still, this is, let's say, y and this is x. Okay, so because they are perpendicular to each other, the directions are perpendicular to each other, so we are not worried about the angle. Okay, so let's say if this is 3 and in this direction it is 4. Okay, so this is 3i plus 4j. So simply this is what we are not worried about the direction. Okay, this is 3 square plus 4 square under root. So we'll come to it. Okay, don't worry, we'll come to it. Yes, they are mutually perpendicular, right, Ganesh? Fine. Fine. Okay, so so this is clear. So the angle between A and minus B, the angle between the vector A and the minus B vector becomes what? If the angle between A and B is theta, the angle between A and minus B is 180 or pi minus theta. Fine. This is it. Okay, now let me share a question. Fine. So this is question of JEE 2019 based on the thing that we just did. Okay. JEE means 2019 10 January evening session. So please try to find the answer, and whoever finds it, message me the answer. Okay. You just have to simply use the same formula. If anyone is having any doubts or any confusion, please tell me, write me. Okay. Whoever finds the answer, please message me the answer. Okay, yes, Tamanna. The value is okay. So what should be the answer? So you just write me the answer A, B, C, D out of A, B, C, D. Yes, Tamanna, your answer is correct. Yes. Yes, correct, Aditya. Yeah. Yes, Ganesh, right. Yes, 120. Yes. Okay, 120 is the correct answer. Everyone is getting it. Okay, this is simple application of the formula only, right? So, okay, there are two forces P and Q of magnitude. So P has magnitude 2F and Q has magnitude equal to what? 3F, right? And they are at an angle of theta. So this is, in magnitude it is 2F. So this is P vector, let's say. the magnitude of P vector is 2f, like this. Okay, and this is Q vector. Okay, and the angle is theta. So the resultant of the two will be what? This is square root of a square, that is 4f square plus 9f square plus 2 into 2f into 3f into cos of the angle between them, right? Now the question says, if the force Q is doubled, the resultant also gets doubled. So that means the resultant will become 2R if you double the force Q. That was initially 3F. So now if you make Q as 6F, okay, so Q dash, you have made it 6F, right? So now the resultant will be what? P is not changed, P is 2F only. So now the resultant in this case, and the angle is not changed also. So this is again 4F square plus 36F square plus 2 into 2F into 6F cos theta, right? Now this is R, right? For this R, I can write this one, right? I can write this here for this R because I know this is R. Okay, so twice of this. Now I square both the sides. Okay, so squaring both the sides, I'll get 4f square plus 9f square plus this is equal to 4f square plus 36f square plus 24f square cos theta, right? Okay, so when you solve this, this is what? LHS, this is 8f square plus 18f square plus 48f square cos theta is equal to, so this will become 4. So when you square, this will become 4. So this is 16f square, 36f square plus 24 into 4 f cos theta is equal to 4f square plus 36f square plus 24 f square cos theta, right? 12 square, 16, 36, this is 48. Okay, so 12f square is equal to minus 24 f square cos theta. So this will give you cos theta as minus half, correct? Okay, fine. Straight away application of the formula. Okay, second question of JEE mains. Okay, using this formula only. Fine. Yes, this question. This is JEE mains 2019, 10 Jan evening. I hope the question is visible to all. In this one, you have to use that same concept, that if the angle between A and B be theta, what should be the angle between A and minus B? Okay, if you use that thing that we just discussed, very easily you'll get it. If anyone thinks that he or she is not understanding the question, please tell me, I'll explain once more. Whoever gets the answer, please write me the option number that he is getting. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which option he or she has got as answer? Okay, I guess I have one answer. Okay. Is it possible to explain the question, please? Okay. Fine, Tamanna. See, in this question, two vectors A and B, they have equal magnitudes. Okay. They may not be in the same direction, but the magnitudes of the vectors are the same. Okay. So I'll give a hint for this question. Okay. There are two vectors And whoever in the meanwhile is able to solve, please send me the option he or she has got. Okay. So there are two vectors, one and another vector is b vector. There are two vectors. Okay. They have the same magnitude. That means the magnitude of A is equal to the magnitude of B. Let's say something. Let's say K. Okay. It is just a scalar quantity. Magnitude means scalar. Okay. It has nothing to do with direction. Magnitude means scalar. Some number, some quantity. K may be anything. 100, 20, 25, anything. K. Let's say K. Okay. The direction. It's not that I can say A vector is equal to B vector. No, but their magnitudes are same. They are of the same amount. Okay. The magnitude, now this A plus B, the sum of two vectors is also a vector. Okay. The difference of two vectors is also a vector. Okay. When you add apples with apples, you get apples, right? Likewise, you add two vectors, the result is a vector. Okay. So this is also a vector. A plus B is a vector. It may not have the same direction as A as B, and it need not be having the same magnitude as A or B or anything. It is some different third vector. A plus B is a different vector, a third vector. Okay. So the magnitude of this means I denote the magnitude by these two straight lines, modulus. This is n times the magnitude of this A minus B is another vector. A plus B is the resultant of two vectors. A minus B is another vector. Okay. But the two vectors, they must be having some magnitude, right? This is also, so the magnitude we know by the modulus sign. In the question it says that the modulus of this vector is n times the modulus of this vector, A minus B vector. Okay. So you have to find the angle between A and B. Okay. What you have to do, again, you have to use the same thing. Let's say this is my A vector. This is my B vector. Okay. And the angle between them is, let's say, theta. Okay. So how do we write this? What is the resultant of two vectors? A plus B. We can write, right? Magnitude of A square plus B square plus 2AB, like that. Okay. Now A minus B vector. So this is more than hint I am giving, but still this is the first class. So this is A plus minus B vector. That is minus B vector is in the opposite direction, same amount. This is minus B vector. Okay, fine, Tamanna. I hope that you have got it. Yes. So now try. Okay, I have one answer by Ganesh is giving one answer. It's B. So the first answer I'm getting is B. We don't know yet whether it is correct or not, but a student is saying B. Let's see. Now, same thing. You have to apply the thing that we have learned as it is. Okay, but you have to keep in mind, in the second case, the two vectors that you're adding are A and the other vector is minus B. And this time the two vectors do not have the same angle. It is something related to the initial angle, right? Okay, let me give it. This is what I've told only. This is 180 minus theta this time. This is the angle between the two vectors. Okay, so Mahesh is giving me the answer as the first one. Okay, let's see, Mahesh. So I have got the first one as the answer and the second one as the answer. Let's see. Any other answer? Try. The answer is in front of you. Like in the examination also, the answer is just right in front of our eyes. Right? You have to just tell which one. The answer must be among option 1 and 2. Okay, but so that is 50-50 probability. I don't know. Maybe the third one can be the answer. If you are saying so. Tamanna is saying answer is A. Okay. So Tamanna has got the answer, the first one. Okay, let's see. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, I'll wait for maybe 30 more seconds. Okay, Ganesh is now affirming his answer. It's one only. Yes, Ganesh. Okay, let's see. 20 more seconds. Or if you want me to wait a little more, just tell me, I'll wait. Otherwise, I'll be starting the solution in 20 seconds. Okay, fine. Let's see. Okay, yes. First one is the correct answer. Okay, correct. Let's see how. Okay. So now this is what? This is the statement that is given. So let's see this one. This is what? The resultant of A and B. So I can say A plus B the mod. This is what? The magnitude of first one. So the magnitude I've taken as K. So this is K square plus the magnitude of B is also K. So K square plus 2K into cos theta. Okay. And the magnitude of A minus B. It is what? Square root of K square plus twice of K square into cos of 180 minus theta. Okay. And cos of 180 minus theta is what? Minus of cos theta, right? So this thing here will become, so I'm editing here only, right? Okay, or let's say this is equal to what? Square root of 2k square plus minus 2k square cos theta. Now use this, that is given that this is n times, right? So a plus b is what? Square root of 2k square plus 2k square cos theta is n times the square root of 2k square minus 2k square of cos theta. Square both the sides, though you will get 2k square plus 2k square cos theta is equal to n square 2k square minus 2k square cos theta. You can cancel out 2k square, you can take out common. Okay. So from there you will get 1 plus cos theta is equal to n square minus n square cos theta. Now I have to collect the cos square terms, right? So this will become n square minus 1 divided by n square plus 1. This is the value of the cos theta. So cos theta is inverse of this. Okay. Inverse cos inverse n square minus 1 upon n square plus 1. Okay. Fine. Straight away application of the formula. Fine. So this was all for today. Okay. We'll be continuing. We have a lot of things to see in this vector chapter, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you, students.